Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. This is Radhika here again, and today I'm going to be making a video on how to recognize an overdeveloped ego as soon as it rises. Um, as I mentioned in a previous video, that ego is not a bad thing. Ego is necessary to survive on earth. But an underdeveloped ego and an overdeveloped ego can be a bad thing. And by bad, I mean like basically they will give you some feelings which you might not like experiencing, and which the people around you might not like experiencing. Um, so yeah, and when I say ego is like anything, ego is not a fixed thing. Someone might behave a certain way today, and you might say, oh, that person has an overinflated ego. And then the next week, that person might be extremely sweet to you, extremely giving, extremely like they might not feel bad if someone is saying something bad to them, and you would say, oh, this person is has no ego at all. So ego is also basically just how you react to situations, but definitely you can it's your personality, basically ego. So if you take an average of your personality, like every day how you behave with certain people or even with yourself, you will find like an average kind of a feeling that you get, maybe in a month. So if you're angry for 25 days in a month, you are an angry person. And that's how we kind of, say that, okay, that person's usually always angry, that person is usually always calm. And that's how you kind of recognize people. And people have off days when a calm person might be angry all of a sudden, and that's okay, but people will still say, oh yeah, generally he or she is a calm person. So that's how the ego is. It's not like a fixed thing. It becomes fixed if you are very, very, very rigid. But for most people, ego is a changing thing. So yeah, so ego is not all bad, because it's ego that makes us all unique and different, because ego is kind of like our identity, who you are. It adds diversity. And if we all were to give up our egos completely, we would become like robots, we would become replicas of each other. You can just feed a program, and then we will live our entire life according to that program. And that is what, that's not, I don't think that's the purpose why we come on this earth, because it's the nature of this earth is of uh, diversity, of duality. There's good and there's bad, and there's everything in between them. So there's like so many different kinds of things that you experience on this earth, and we probably have come here to experience that. That's one of the reasons why we have come here. So that's why complete acceptance of one's own personality is necessary, and shadow work comes in that, because not everyone has a personality which has all so called positive traits. Some of the traits are like so called negative, but you have to understand them. When you understand, you will really feel like nothing is positive and nothing is negative. Everything is okay, just the way it is. Because when you understand things, it's easier to give up judgment. When you don't understand things, that's when you judge. So yeah, so anyways, so an overdeveloped ego is what a narcissist has, and if you, what they want to do, what narcissists want to do, is they feel so insecure because anything that is not like them, or anything that is not under their control, they either want to control it, or if it's not like them, they want to destroy it. Okay, so that's what they want to do. That is their intention usually. If they know it, I don't know, or if they don't know it but they do those things. That's how they operate. Um, so yeah, if you actually think about it, just imagine a scenario where a full blown narc, a complete narcissistic person who's completely malignant and who has power, goes rampant on this earth, who goes rogue on this earth without anyone stopping them, what will they do? They will destroy everything that is not like them. And what is that? It's everything. Because every person is unique. There's nothing that's going to be like you, exactly like you. There's nothing going to be exactly like you. There just isn't. Even twins are different. Even children who are born at the same time from the same sperm, or I mean from the same, I don't know the details, embryo or whatever, they are also different. So basically, the narcissist is not going to be satisfied with anything else in the world, and they will finally destroy everything. And then, in the end, the only thing remaining will be them, and they will finally die. So basically, if you let a narcissist go rampant, which is actually what happened in history, there were so many conquerors of the world who were complete narcissists, and they wanted to conquer the world because that is ultimate power when they can control everything. And has there been anyone who has ever been able to conquer the world? There's no one. If there's a feeling that can completely conquer the world, it's probably love, but we haven't got there yet. But yeah, no one person has been able to conquer this whole earth. So I think a lot of narcissistic people have tried it in the past, and they had huge armies and all of that, but it was not possible. Finally, death will conquer them. And so yeah, it's basically total destruction if a narcissist takes over. So even for people who are non-narcissists, like general people, the overdeveloped ego shows up from time to time. Okay, so in the narcissist, it's like always there, always. That's their personality, because they have to control or they have to destroy something that is not like them. But even for people who are non narcissists, even you and me, we are not on the malignant side of narcissism. We or if you call yourself an empath and you're a balanced person, even for you, it will show up from time to time. And so, this video is about that. How do you recognize when it shows up? How do you, how, when does it show up? How do you recognize when it shows up? And how to persuade it to kind of lay low that it's okay. It might not completely go away ever. I don't know if it does or not. But what happens is you become okay with things the way they are. And the overdeveloped ego, when you kind of persuade it, I'm not saying you have to control it, you have to persuade it, you have to explain to it, you have to kind of make it understand. And when I say it, it's just an aspect of yourself. It's a learning that you have to give yourself. So it's not like a different individual within you. It's just a part of you that you have to explain things to. And when you explain things to that part, which I'm just calling it overdeveloped ego, it's actually you, but it makes it easier to explain it this way. So you can persuade it to go away, and it will lay low, and your life in general will become easier, more flowing, and happier and peaceful. You will stop trying to control things or be angry on things or be irritated with things so much. I'm not saying it completely goes away. That's like a lifelong practice that we have to keep on doing. But yeah, it has helped me, so I hope it will help you. Okay, so I'll just give an example and kind of go through this. So when does it show up? When does the overdeveloped ego part of us show up? So it shows up when you see something that is not of you. So if you write it in mathematical terms, it will be not, not, or that not symbol, and then into bracket you. And by you, I mean your personality, your identity, your ego. So, example, you love parks and you love greenery, you love nature, and you want to preserve nature, you want to keep nature as it is, you want to keep it beautiful, away from human dirt and filth and destruction. So, you are in your favorite park near your house, and you see a bunch of teenagers, a gang of teenagers. They're sitting on the benches in the park, they're eating something, and after they finish, they just throw the trash. They throw it. There's a trash can right like 10 steps away from them, but they don't want to go to the trash can, so they're just throwing it. So, say you are taking a walk in the park, or you're meditating in the park, or something like that. So, what next? When you see this happen, there will be a reaction in your body, and that reaction is called aversion, or that reaction is called dislike, irritation, hatred. All of those feelings, they will start showing up because you identify yourself from your experience on this earth. You have realized, I love parks, I love greenery, I love nature, and I want to preserve it. That's what you want to do. That's your desire. You want to keep it beautiful, you want to keep it calm. It's a surrounding where you can come and you can meditate. So you want to keep it. So there's a part of you that wants to control it. So yeah, so you see this, and immediately all these reactions come into your being. So now you have to make a decision. Okay, so your eyes showed you something, your brain processed it, and now your brain has taken that part of you which it knows as ego, and it has produced all these energies which are like dislike, aversion, irritation, hatred, etc. So now you have to decide, what do you do with these energies. So some person who are very very reactive, or who are very who hold on to their ego very very strongly, might suddenly get up and go and scold the teenagers, and like make a very very big deal out of it, which is okay. I'm not saying any of this is bad, I'm just trying to explain. And then some person might sit with this energy and feel that, oh, okay, so these teenagers, they've dumped garbage in the park, and I'm really getting irritated because of it. I'm getting angry, and I'm getting all these feelings in my body which I'm not liking. So, what do I do about it? It's a decision point. So, this person might feel that, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there, I'm going to pick up all the trash slowly, and I'm going to give the teenagers a particular look, and I'm going to throw the trash. Or you might decide, okay, I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to ask the teenagers that from next time, do not dump it here. Please walk over to the trash can and dump it there. So that can be another decision. So you can take lots of different decisions, and you can act according to those decisions. So in this case, actually, you are not wrong if you are the person who feels angry on the teenagers, because uh, what I mean is, whoever holds on to their ego, they are acting out of an instinct that protects their ego. So when you have an overdeveloped ego, which is out of control, it goes to narcissism. And they do not have reasoning, they do not have a basis for their ego. For you, maybe you have a basis for your ego that this is morality. But overall, because you have that ego, it causes a lot of unrest within yourself. So you can actually uh, deal with this unrest in a better way if you recognize it. So basically, this situation has played out, and because of this, you might have, like, judged the teenagers, because as soon as this situation happened, maybe a part of your brain went like, oh, these teenagers, they are such an entitled bunch, they don't have gratitude for anything that is provided to them. It's such a beautiful park and they're just trashing it. So even though you are not wrong in this situation, you judged them. So judgment happens because of ego. Whenever you have an overdeveloped ego shows up, it will cause judgment. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, what about narcissists? Aren't we judging them? But that's what I'm trying to explain, that we are not judging narcissists. We are trying to understand what happened to us. If you have been a victim in a narcissistic situation, it's understanding, it's not judgment. Because people who judge simply say, oh, that's a rude person, that's a mean person, etc., etc. They might be rude and mean, but what I'm saying is they do not go to the root level of it. And when you start getting to the root level of things, you understand them a level deeper and a level deeper and a level deeper. And when that understanding grows, basically your consciousness grows, your mind grows, your outlook grows. And that's why it's important to understand things more than judge them. But the ego will always tell you, just judge it, just judge it, it's different than you, so just judge them, they are wrong. And that, whenever that happens, you can see that it's the ego. And ego also works on attachment. So if you are attached to the park that the teenagers are destructing or whatever they are trashing, you will feel more of a hurt because you are your it's not you who's attached, it's your personality, because you love going there, you love hanging out there. So you will be attached to the park because of that part of your personality, which is kind of like your ego. So yeah, so in this situation, um, your ego is the one which is kind of judging and which is kind of hating on the teenagers because of your attachment to the park. Now, how do you recognize it? So whenever you have this feeling of aversion, irritation, dislike for a particular person, scene, situation, or scenario, you have to if you analyze it a little bit, you will see that it goes against a part of your own personality. And that's why it is causing you to experience all these what do you say, not good feelings. You're not feeling at peace, you're not feeling at ease because of your ego seeing something which is not like itself. So, how do you kind of persuade it to go away? So, you can just tell yourself gently that, see, you saw this thing that you do not like, it exists, and it's all right because it's a part of creation. It exists because it's necessary in some way. Maybe we do not understand why it is necessary, but because of the fact that it happened or it exists or it is happening, I can understand, I can kind of make myself realize that it is necessary. And so what can I do in this situation? I'm not liking something, so what is the actionable step for me? So the actionable step for me is, what can I do to stop it? What is the what is the maximum extent of help that I can do in this situation without me acting out of my ego, by me acting out of understanding. So maybe in this situation, the what the act we can do is, we can dispose of the trash that is thrown by the teenagers. We can even tell them that, hey, from next time, do you mind if you throw it in the trash can? And this can be from a point of view of understanding or explaining instead of hatred. Because if you show hatred, the teenagers are going to pick that up. Any human being is going to pick it up if you talk to them from a point of view of hatred. But if you ask them from a point of view of just understanding that, hey, this is a really clean park, do you mind if you throw it in the trash can? There are trash cans here. And so if you just come down to that level of a normal ego where you tell them this way, then maybe they might or might not do it in the future. You can never say, but you can act in this way, and that will slowly this overdeveloped ego that sparks out, it literally sparks out. There's literally irritation in the body sometimes when it's something that upsets us. It's just irritation and dislike and aversion that comes up in your body. So if you kind of talk to it and make it understand that, see, this world, it's not always going to have everything that you like, and we still have to do our duty. If I still feel the park should be clean, I can throw the trash in the trash can, even though it was made by someone else. All of that is fine. I am going to do my duty. I'm not going to focus on why things are the way they are, because there's no end to that argument. Things are always going to be some way which we cannot explain. So, if we kind of get to that point, it will become very easy to, one, recognize when does my overdeveloped ego side show up. Two, it will be easy to recognize it. And three, it will be easy to kind of, lower its volume and tell it that, hey, it's okay. This is the way the world is. And you are going to have to, kind of be okay with it. So your overdeveloped ego will kind of merge with your ego. And then you will still be on your path in life, but you will not be trying to control life so much, trying to control your surroundings to feel a certain way, because you will completely take back the power inside of you. And of course, this cannot be applied in every situation. The example that I gave is when you were in the right and people were doing wrong, and you wanted to control this, not control, but kind of remedy the situation without becoming a narcissist yourself, without letting your ego or your overdeveloped ego get the better of you. But of course, this cannot be applied in every situation. If you are in a situation which is with a narcissist, then I'm not telling you to suppress your overdeveloped ego, because at that point the narcissist is actually chipping away at your personality. So that's not your overdeveloped ego, that's just your ego at your identity. And in the olden days, people used to kill people, right? And that's like complete destruction right away. You have killed that person. But now in this world, we don't kill people, but there is a lot of abuse that goes around, and the abuse is in terms of abusing each other's personalities. So whatever you don't like in someone, some people are kind of silent about it, they just judge with their eyes. Some people are vocal about it, they are the more brash kind of people. They don't want to hide, they don't like it, they say it, which is okay because they're saying it, so they are being themselves. But there are some people who will destruct, who will kind of like bully you or try to change you, or try to get everyone to attack you. And these are the kind of people who are narcissists on the malignant side, and this can have a very bad effect on your mind body spirit complex. So it's all well and good to understand these things, but I'm also stressing here that it's very important to keep boundaries with people who attack your personality, who attack your ego, who attack your spirit, and who are blocking you from being the best version of you possible. So I'm not saying give up your ego, keep your ego, but we have to kind of balance it out like everything else in life that we have to balance. So yeah, if you are in a situation with malignant narcissists, this is not a way to deal with them. This is just a general spiritual talk. When you are dealing with normal people, we all as human beings feel irritated and hatred and aversion, and it's feelings we all feel in normal situations. So yeah, so basically keep like the common sense is that this is in normal situations. If you are in a situation with a narcissist, you have to choose your options: either leave the situation, go gray rock, go no contact, or whatever is the alternative for you. and also at the same time a lot of self love, a lot of building up of the ego, because narcissists might have taken it down, completely. You might have given up your personality and become like a robo because of the narcissist. So in a narc situation, actually, you might be suffering from an underdeveloped ego, not an overdeveloped ego. So, in that case, you have to bring up your ego to a point where you are you again, and then you have to kind of keep your ego in check so that it doesn't become overdeveloped and it doesn't become underdeveloped. So yeah, it's all a very fine balance. And I hope this video helped you, because I have recognized this in myself. I feel my overdeveloped ego or irritation or anger rising from time to time, and I have to take measures to kind of, like tell it to just relax, just chill, just go with the flow. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you in some way, and please do comment if it was, or if you have any techniques of dealing with overdeveloped or underdeveloped egos, and or anything that you have to share, because I love reading it. And share these videos and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thanks. Bye.